In the famous American movie about Bruce Lee that was made, I don't know how many were made, but I know the one that was made about Bruce Lee, um, it shows symbolically that he probably went through zerzetsung by the end of his life. So it was an actor. I forget which scene. I think there's only one movie about Bruce Lee's life, and it really focuses on his back injury. It focuses on his relationship. It focuses on his arrival in America, and where he worked in a kitchen at first as a cook or whatever, and his kind of journey. But just thinking about zerzetsung and everything, and remembering that movie, the end where the dynamics become pretty insane. I don't know these people. I'm just at a cafe here. No one's told me anything. I was just reminiscing on everything. It certainly seems like zerzetsung. I personally, a lot of the controversies, they say the Chinese themselves attacked Bruce Lee. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe the Chinese people attacked Bruce Lee. I think it was another one of these things. But I believe Bruce Lee went through a zerzetsung that was planned. Probably when the movie Enter the Dragon was made, and he does that scene with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but then the famous scene with the mirrors, which is the scene, obviously projection, and then the various forms of projection, actual projection, wax on, wax off type of like throwing your energy on people. And so I don't think, like I said, I don't know these people. I'm just at a cafe, so people are talking in the background. You have to excuse me. But that movie seems to show at the end the way it all becomes, and the way I'm obviously experiencing, as now it's pretty attested, I'm experiencing zerzetsung. I'm pretty sure symbolically in that movie about Bruce Lee, and that whole like at the end where it's all like this kind of fog and like this whole, because the movie is very realistic up till the end, and in the end it's like this whole kind of like this kind of like cloud came over him. And no, I personally don't believe the Chinese were responsible. Obviously, his parents were, from that, and they encouraged him, they taught him. Obviously he worked, in Chinatown, according to that movie, in a kitchen. So obviously, I personally don't believe the Chinese were responsible. Once again, and I don't mean to be even contemplating the female question. I would more assume that it was his Caucasian wife that probably felt slighted, as she, in that movie it shows she tried to participate in some type of level, and she gets a positive role, particularly during his back injury. But unfortunately, I'm assuming because his popularity was so huge, which is really unusual in America. Usually Asian celebrities aren't really that. And since Bruce Lee, no real, you have Jet Li, you have other characters, but no one, and I don't mean to put them down, but no one as dynamic as this kind of Bruce Lee was, this really kind of true celebrity. Jackie Chan is also massive, huge, and I don't put him down in any way. I think, in some ways, his skills are even more skillful than Bruce Lee's martial arts skills. I think Jackie Chan may actually be a more talented martial artist, believe it or not, than Bruce Lee. But I think it's a certain thing, that whole controversy with Jackie Chan and his daughter, that all seems to be another type of defrauding thing, a whole nother kind of like, fake drama, I guess. I don't believe that's actually true. So actually, I think the opposite is the case. I think Bruce Lee might have regretted marrying that woman, and there might have been a conflict with his wife. And I think Jackie Chan, on the other hand, is, even though he seems extremely pro-China, I would assume that he's actually much more Western than he is. I mean, people who disagree with that, I would just say, look at the amount of self-harm he induced on himself to stay in America. The person, he was literally killing himself to stay in America in his movies. He has more injuries than any person sustained. I do think he's an incredible martial artist, if not probably one of the most talented that's been witnessed. But I think his celebrity is much different than the celebrity of Bruce Lee. And